Hello. I'm recording this on a Sunday, which means that I would have anxiety because Sunday is my anxiety day, my anxious day. It used to be Friday, but now it's mostly Sunday. But anyway, yeah, just putting it out there. Uh, yeah. So this past week, I have not finished any books. So I won't be talking about any books that I finished because I haven't finished any. That's redundant. Anyway, I'll be talking mostly about the books that I'm currently reading right now, and I feel like I have some things to say about the books that I'm currently reading. So the first one that I'm going to mention is this book by Wally. This is I Know This Much Is True, something that I started reading since March, but up until today I've only read up until 1/3 into this book, and most of those, 1/3 of the book that I read were something that I read for the past 2 to 3 weeks. And I must say, even though I'm reading this very, very slowly, I think I am kind of enjoying it. I definitely enjoy this one. I not kind of enjoying it, but I am enjoying it. The writing is quite nice so far. It's quite lovely. This book is about these two characters. They are twin brothers. The main character, his name is Dominic, and he has a twin brother, identical twin named Thomas. And essentially, what happens is that Thomas, he has some mental health issues, and he has schizophrenia, and so he has been kind of been committed to a mental facility. And because he had cut off his hand one day at a library, and Dominic is obviously distressed by this one, and we later learn that the mother just passed away as well sometime before that. And we learn more about Dominic's history with Thomas, how the childhood is like. Basically, the childhood has some. It was not a happy childhood. It's more like a childhood filled with domestic abuse. So we see all of that thing happening in this novel as well. What I really like about the writing, especially, is how casual it is, especially when it comes to describing mental health and domestic abuse. And I feel that the way it portrays those things is just really honest and quite punchy and quite emotional as well. And I think it is really good if you feel something while you're listening to this book, while you're grocery shopping. Yeah, I was looking for some instant noodles, and then I was listening to the scene where Dominic is talking to Thomas's doctor, psychiatrist, and I was feeling something while looking for ramen. And it is not something that happens every day in your life, so you gotta give credit to that. Another thing that I would say contributed to how fast I read this book for the past few weeks is because I have been enlisting the help of my Hindi TTS voice. Basically, I have also the ebook copy of this novel, and then I've been listening to most of it while I'm also doing other stuff. And for the most part, I think I listened to this book a lot while I took my morning walks, which was something that I have started since last week, I think. Definitely last week. And so up until today, I've been walking for it's not last week, maybe it's like for last 2 weeks. So because I've been walking for 14 days consecutively, which I think is kind of a accomplishment for me. Except today. Today I woke up late, so I did take a walk, but it was a late walk. But it counted. So yeah, I've been listening to this book during my walks, and it has been really nice, really great, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the experience of reading this book right now. So definitely I'm going to continue. I think without the GTS, I wouldn't have read this book as quick as I am right now, because I think for the most part I would be quite intimidated by its thickness, and I would probably not read this book on certain days, many days. So yeah, that's a good thing. Nice book so far. Yeah. Next one. So I just kind of want to talk about these two books because I've been reading them not exactly intentionally in parallel, unintentionally in parallel. One of this is a buddy read with Jyotsna of Jyotsna's Bookscapades. This one is Madeline Miller's The Song of Achilles, and the other one is Carol, previously titled The Price of Salt by Patricia Highsmith. Now, I am actually up until 50% of for both of these books, so halfway into these books. Next week I project that I will finish The Song of Achilles next week, and probably I'll finish Carol next week also, if I were to still continue reading these in parallel. But let me just say, what an experience it is to read these two together. Because obviously, if you know what these books are about, you know what I mean. Carol is about a lesbian relationship. The Song of Achilles is about a gay relationship. And the way that the relationship progresses in both of these books is it kind of starts out as two characters meeting each other. They kind of get acquainted with one another. They get to know one another much better, and then things happen. The relationship is is budding, and yeah, things happen, and at the same time, both of these relationships, they have to deal with keeping it a secret. Yeah, because that's to be expected when you have this kind of narrative, when you have this kind of same-sex romance narrative. I find that reading these two books together, it kind of amps up the experience. I think I would say the enjoyment, the way that you appreciate how the story explores the relationships. Especially in Carol, I think, because in here it is even more obvious that these two characters, they have to keep their relationship hidden, because this story takes place in the 1950s, and obviously, same-sex relationship between anyone around that time in the US, it's not acceptable so much. So and you get also a bit of hint of that in this one also, albeit not so obvious, because this one takes place during the not exactly a real historical era, I think. During the ages of the Greek mythological heroes, where you see characters like Achilles and Patroclus roaming around and frolicking with one another and just be happy up until later. Yeah, that is so not a spoiler. But anyway, these two books, really nice, loving it so far. Next one that I'm reading, I just started reading this book by Hermann Hesse for maybe Midrash. This is Siddhartha. I just started reading this one, so I don't really have a lot to say about this. The writing is simple. This one is translated from the German by into the English by Hilda Rosner. And yeah, the writing is simple, it's easy to follow. Yeah, I have not gotten into the core of this book yet. So I think it's going to be the kind of like a biographical novel for the life of Siddhartha Gautama. But beyond that, I'm not sure how things will unfold. So looking forward to that. And since this one is fairly thin, I think I can finish this within a week. Let's see if that's going to be true. I hope that this one is going to be interesting also. So hopefully that can happen. And last but not least, the book that I'm currently reading right now, mostly listening, but yeah, it's reading, is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. So this one, it's okay. Basically, it's okay. Basically, this book is about this housewife named Patricia who lives in the American South, and the story takes place in the 80s and 90s. And Patricia is feeling really, she's feeling really bored in her house because she's a housewife, and she is expected to take care of the domestic stuff of the house. And we all know that taking care of domestic work is obviously not important. And and she has all of those responsibilities that she has to do, and she really wants to have some kind of excitement in her life. And so she joins a book club, and it is in this book club that she gets to know other housewives in her neighborhood, and they read books together. And then one day a neighbor arrives who is very suspicious, and weird things start to happen after that. And the kinds of weird things that I've been seeing so far in this book includes someone's ears being bitten off, rat attacks. I think those are the weird things so far. And Patricia later discovers from another acquaintance of hers that this strange neighbor guy, he may have something to do with all of these strange happenings. But at this point, I am still not sure what exactly is going on with the guy, with anyone in this one. What are the things that cause of all of those strange happenings? But one thing that I just gotta add is that this book, so far, I think the writing is just normal. It didn't really hook me. I mean, the first few chapters, they hooked me because those were the chapters that introduced the character of Patricia. And we see this kind of like a disgruntled, bored housewife who craves some excitement. And it introduces Patricia in this like really nice way. But soon as the weird things start to happen, I found that this book is starting to get a little bit boring, even though it's supposed to be kind of like, the opposite, when the exciting stuff is supposed to happen. But I don't know, maybe it's just the writing just felt very flat to me. It's just kind of mostly telling. It's not bad, but it's kind of flat. And to see that this book is about like 400 pages long, I don't exactly feel motivated, But yeah, should I continue? Should I not continue? I don't know. I still don't really know what's going on with this story, and I feel like it's a shame not to continue, at least to just kind of like find out what happens. But yeah, the book kind of bores me sometimes, and I've been skim reading some parts. So is that a symptom of that I should DNF this book? I think it is, but I just need to make that decision. Anyway, those are the books that I am currently reading right now. As for the books that I've bought, I don't think I have any. Yeah, I'm trying to save money actually, and also the space in my room is, I don't think it's kind of enough. I think I have plenty of physical books right now. So I don't think I would want to add more into that collection yet. Yeah, so I guess that's it so far for this week's Bookish avec moi. So I'll see you again in the next video. And take care. Thanks for watching. Bye. Screw anxiety. So apparently after using this TTS voice, this Hindi TTS voice for some time right now, for a few books, I realized that whenever the voice reads out numbers, especially the numbers of chapters, right, you know, chapter 1, chapter 2 and so on, it would read the numbers in Hindi. And I find that I can count from 1 to 10 in Hindi right now. So here it goes. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do I get the numbers right? Let me know in the comments.